A few days ago, I posted a conversation that my mother and I had through text messaging. So she was very not happy with that. And I honestly don't care. Not sorry. And during that conversation, she called me and says, Rick, are you okay? I thought everything was okay the other day. And all of a sudden, I see your post and something else happened. And she goes and says, oh, what, you think you could do this all on your own? And I said, F you. I actually said, fuck you. And she hung up the phone on me. Before I said fuck you to her, she was saying some things to me and not speaking. I don't know what you're saying. But everyone wants to say, oh, that's your mother. That's your mother, Rick. But that's your mother, Rick. But that's your mother. 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 So can you tell my mother to actually speak to her child? One thing One thing about me that many do not know is that what am I actually doing? Well, I'm trying to build a future for myself, but no but. I can't stand that word. People know what I'm doing. I also went to school that my mother paid for. One of the conversations before I saw a therapist, actually saw the therapist, my mother goes to the therapist, oh, I paid for him to go to school and you don't do anything with it, Rick. Have you not seen my mannequin? Have you not seen my paintings? Have you not seen my other writings? The thing is, what I go through, the best writer writes what he goes through, writes his life. I'm writing it. You're giving me things. You're giving me creative ideas and you're giving me this hell that I will write about because I'm writing my life and I'm explaining to others because many others go through the same exact thing with. The next morning, I woke up and I had this dream that a person, a family member friend, was giving me a contract to sign. And then my cousin or someone came up to us and says, hey girl, how you doing? And I grabbed that person by the hair. Again, this is a dream. I grabbed her by the hair and says, get away from me. I told that person, leave me alone and stay away from me. And she said to me, no, you never did. And I took the remote control and slapped her in the head with it. And I'm like, okay, right in front of her mother. And she screamed to her mother, like, look, he hurt me. And then she says, I don't think so. That didn't hurt. Then I woke up, did whatever I had to do. And the very next thing I know, around 2 p.m., police officers came to my door and knocked on my door, presented their self and says, hi, how are you? I'm like, hi, I'm good. Are you Ganesh Nohar? I said, yes. The police officer introduced himself and said, first off, whoa, he, he, whoa, he's sexy. Like, wow. I haven't seen a really good looking man like that in front of my face in a very long time. As I was saying, he presented himself and said, sir, your mother called and said that you told her you were jumping off the bridge. And I was shocked. And they said, is that true? And they asked me, well, they told me, we're only here to just make sure that you're okay. And I said, yes, I am okay. Now, apparently, they had to call the EMT, and the EMT was on their way. Now, while I'm sitting there, I'm talking to the police officers. They obviously can see that I am no harm to myself. They start asking me about my artwork and my paintings because I was in the mix of creating something. The EMT lady walked in and she was like, whoa, I love that painting. That would look good in my house. And I smiled because, that made me feel really good about myself because not many people, like my family members, will come in and say anything remotely, anything. And if they do have something to say, they will say something negative. So she comes in and says, hi, Mr. Nohar. How are you today? And I was like, I'm good. How are you? She replied, I'm good. Thank you. And she explained herself today what happened. And I said, well, I don't know. The police officer came in and told me that apparently I told my mother that I was going to jump off a bridge, which I never said that, and I'm not going to. I don't know why the police officer told me that. And so I was cooperating with them, and I walked right outside my apartment and went right into the ambulance, got blood work done, and sent After they took blood from me in the ambulance, they took me to Queens General Hospital to I can't even speak, to the ER. And there, I did not know that I was under watch. So they had a nurse watching me, and the nurse was actually falling asleep. She was like dozing off. You're supposed to be watching people. I get it. Your job sucks. Now, I had a few people came up to me and asked me, "Sir, what happened today?" Well, Ganesh, what happened today? And another person says, "Mr. Nohar, why, can I speak? Mr. Nohar, why are you here today?" And I explained to them again, I don't know. The police officer said that I told my mother that I was going to jump off a bridge, which is not true. I'm not suicidal. So I'm in there. I was watched like a hawk. I wanted to leave because I didn't belong there. While in the ER, they literally had me take off my clothes and put all my clothes in a bag and wear this orange cape rope kind of a thing, and then had me sit in the corner. They put an IV in me also. For whatever reason, you put an IV in me. I was just going with protocol, I guess, protocol, because the law sucks. I kind of did not mind the IV, but why did you put an IV in me without blood work done or anything for that matter? I don't understand. So at this point, no one's really talking to me. So I stood quiet while a bunch of others came in and they start a ruckus. So they did feed me. I was in there for 5 hours waiting and waiting. And I was evaluated by a doctor and a nurse. The doctor came up to me, the nurse came up to me and asked me again. The doctor and the nurse goes and says to me, "Sir, why are you here?" And I think he said my name, Ganesh, or Mr. Nohar. And I said to them that my mother is very manipulative, petty, and she plays mind games and reverse psychology. I did not tell her that I was going to jump off a bridge. So they decided to walk away. No one said anything. And the nurse comes up to me, another nurse, um, comes up to me because I called her actually. I called her over, like, hey, what's going on? So she tells me that how she's gonna go call the doctor and figure out what's going on. She apparently came back, so not apparently, sorry. She came up to me and told me the doctor wants you to stay overnight. And I'm like, overnight for what? And because I'm going to get evaluated. Didn't he just evaluate me for like less than 3 minutes? And at this moment, after being in the ER for 5 hours, they decide to take me into another room, and another doctor and a few other nurses again ask me. So about this time, about yes, so 10 different individuals came up to me who worked at the hospital, doctors and nurses, wanted to speak to me. So so again, I was held by my will. I couldn't leave, and the doctor actually told me again, this is so awkward to me because I'm like, he said to me, he's like, well, you got to stay overnight because if you were to go home, we let you to go, and you were to harm yourself, your mother will sue the hospital. So I said to him, well, I'll sue her because I never said anything. And he goes to me, you talk a lot, because I was talking about who I am, what I do. I told him that I'm a socialite, I am a motivational speaker, I help other people, and I speak to other people so they don't end up in situations as I'm in. I've never, and I said to them again, I'm not suicidal. They kind of agreed with me. I didn't seem suicidal. I don't seem like a person that would be, which is again protocol. It's a system. The system took me in and kept me overnight, all because I don't know why. So the doctor apparently, um, see, I don't know why they kept me. So after I left, well, sorry, let me start again. I went in and I spoke to two other nurses, and it was ridiculous because the doctor held me back, and I was in there overnight, all the way to the next day, and I left there at 3:40. During that time, it was hell. Being inside there was hell because no one was talking. No one was speaking. No one was saying anything. And then the guy next to me was, venting and talking out loud. And I heard the nurse ask him, it's like, oh, I hear you talking to yourself. Do you hear voices and whatever? But I'm like, I can't say anything, right? That guy has to speak for himself. I don't know what to say. But I hear him, what he's saying, and he's literally cursing out the cops in his head. And he's like figuring out what went wrong with his mother. So he was held there against his will because of his mother and a certain situation with money. I was held by my mother because my mother is controlling and she wants money from me. That's what all I thought in my head. Why did my mother put me in here? Because I had a dream about a contract being signed by me from a friend of hers in a dream. Then all of a sudden, the cops come in knocking. The doctor I could not find, and he came up to me actually and said to me, I just spoke to your mother. Your mother says all day long you make videos. I was like, excuse me? All day long? I was like, sir, you're not listening to me. I told you that yes, I went to school for business management, entrepreneurship, and I also went to school for fashion designing, which my mother paid for. So what I'm trying to do on my social media platform is to present myself for the world so I can build a business. And he just didn't want to hear anything. Hours go by, I'm trying to find a doctor to speak to him. Why am I still here? The nurse comes up to me and says, the doctor doesn't want you to go home and hurt your mother. Really? So, physical hurt, not that I would physically hurt her, but mentally hurting someone, it's okay. And holding someone in an evaluation room overnight because of the system sucks because at the end of the day, I told the doctor, it's like, sir, you're not listening to me. You're actually listening to someone on a phone. Then he's like, someone? I said, yes, I'm here and present. I'm your patient, not the person on the phone. So why would he listen to someone over a phone and not do his job as a psychiatrist? That was my thought. And every time he walked in and out of the room that he was in, and I was standing in front of my doorway, he couldn't even look at me. He was an Indian doctor. So at the end of the day, I really realized that they actually was on my side. I was just annoyed that the system kept me in there as long as they could. I went home and I went to speak to my mother's mother. My mother's mother called my mother and gave it to my mother. Why did you call the cops on Ricky? So apparently, my mother said she never called the cops. She said she called the health insurance company to get me health insurance. For what reason? I have health insurance. My mother is trying to help me get food stamps. I'm trying to help myself get food stamps. She told me to help myself and do my own things. Yes, I'm trying to. You're enabling me and you're holding me back from doing the things that I'm supposed to do for myself. We're going to get to that credit card later because someone had a credit card in my name and that person was stopping me from getting my benefits. Now, where was I? I totally lost my train of thought because I got to the credit card part. Now, I totally lost my train of thought. Let me think for a second. So I got to my grandmother's house and I told her what happened to me. My mother said she never said anything of the sort, that the insurance company called the cops. My mother said she told the insurance company she was trying to get me health insurance because a long time ago I tried to commit suicide. Not true. Not true. And why didn't anyone help me a long time ago if I did? Doesn't make any sense, right? So here I am thinking, what the heck just happened to me? Because I don't know. And it's not even hurtful because I'm beyond upset and beyond shocked. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. My mother came in to the ER while I was there, and she came up and said, "Rick, what happened? Are you okay? What did the doctor say?" And I said to her, "You tell me. Why did the cops knock on my door and told me that you told them that I said to you that I was gonna jump off the bridge, which is not true?" And then she was like, and walked away. And I said, good, walk away. Lack of communication. Thank you. Then she went to the nurse, seemingly doctor, nurse, whatever she was, and spoke to her. I did not know the conversation. The nurse came up to me and said something to me, and then my mother said pretty much, "Oh well, Rick, I can't do anything here, so I'm gonna go." So I said, "Bye. I don't know why they called you," and I waved my hand like this, and I turned my face. I saved the best part for last. So I got home and I noticed that my mother came and cleaned up the bathroom. So I got a phone call, and the phone call was, "Oh, well, Rick, I came over to, use the bathroom, and I couldn't even use it or take a shower, so I had to clean it first." And that's all she said. Well, I don't know what kind of mother would be so spiteful to her children and do something so evil and lie to a, I don't know what happened. Someone's lying. Everyone's lying. Everyone thinks I'm lying about my health. It makes me think what everyone else lies about. And usually, the things that they do lie about is ridiculous. And all day long, they do is lie to their lover. They lie to their mother. They lie to their grandma. I'm not a liar. I don't. I don't get anywhere by lying to people. So my mother really probably thinks in her little head that I'm crazy because she always. I just got a message. My mother's always trying to tell me, Rick, there's something wrong with you. Rick, I want to help you. Rick, let me help you. There's nothing wrong with me. Apparently, she thinks that there's something mentally wrong with me, and she wants me to get evaluated. For what reason? My I had to talk with my mother about it, and I have spoken to her about. I've had dreams of her holding me back on opportunities. But before that, I had told her I had a dream about her, and I dreamt about this contract. And when I told her about it, she did not want to speak. She just smirked. Now, that altercation led the police to our home, my grandmother's house. She put her hand on me, and I said, "Get your hands off me." And she was acting very dumb and stupid. And she put her hands on me again, and I took her hands off me and pushed her out of my way like this. And all of a sudden, she just looked back and went, ah, like that. From a further distance, from as much as a person like me can handle a person her size. Now, I said to her and I screamed in her face, "Where is the contract?" And all she did was, my sister was telling me before I got to the house that it's not what mother. So my sister said to me in the car, "It's not what mother wants." Because I did ask my mother about certain things. And I did talk to her about my artwork and about my fashion, about the business that I want to create for myself. And I have these dreams of individuals saying to me, or like not saying to me, showing me that I'm going to be successful. And my mother's right there holding me back and backstabbing me. Now, when I speak to her in real life, so in the dreams, in the dreams she's backstabbing me, and in real life, I'm figuring it out. It's all real. It's all true, and no one is speaking to me. No one's speaking to me. Why? Because that's your mother. That's your mother. That's your mother. But that's your mother. Are you giving my mother a contract to sign? That's all I have to say. And I guess I'll continue to dream about the prosperity and things that I have to lead for many people and hold. The thing is, I have these dreams that I'm going to lead a lot of individuals. And that's the person I am. I'm a leader. And I'm a motivator. I've always wanted to be a life coach, fashion designer, painter, writer. I can't act. So, actor, I'm a realist. And the thing is, what hurts is that the opportunities I keep dreaming about, and then I find out that I'm speaking the truth. But my mother wants to think I'm crazy and there's something wrong with me. But in all reality, you're probably wondering, mother, how did I know that? Because people actually told me themselves little messages underneath their breath. And I also figured out things because every time I dream, my dreams come true. All of them. Every job I ever applied for, every dreams, and every time I went to apply for a job, I found out that I actually had this dream and I knew that I was going to get that job. You know why? Because I said to myself, I want this job. I was like, God, I want to work here. And all those jobs I ever had in my entire life, yes, I had many jobs for many reasons. I wanted to work there, like United Colors of Benetton, Bloomingdale's, Saban, and the internships that I've done. I didn't expect to get those jobs, and I got them. I've done a lot to try to make something of myself, and certain individuals in my family wants to hold me back, especially my mother. Why are you trying to hold me back from things that I've actually done and I'm actually doing? And why am I dreaming it? That's the interesting part of it. But my mother wants me to go see her spiritual healer friend, who also told me a few little things under his. This spiritual healer person my mother introduced me to told me a few things after he apparently put his hand on my head and went om blah, stuff like that. And I've always had dreams all my life, and he said he was giving me energy. So I've always had dreams all my life, and um, the thing is that I try to speak to my mother, who is this person. My mother can never tell me anything again, but she gave me money to pay him, and he said that he can't accept the money. This is not how it works. Well, one of the few things I did tell him about a dream of that I had, because I didn't tell him everything. I didn't want to tell him everything. Pretty much, he told me that they're gonna think you don't want the job, but no one's speaking to me, so I don't understand what he's saying. So the thing about the industry is that they say it's the people you know can get you to the next level. So certain individuals told me certain things. And there goes my mother, acting like she doesn't know anything. They know that she's been holding me back and they know that she lied. That's the thing. But no one's speaking to me. Why am I dreaming of my mother and her friends? Because my family pushed me away. So I made my own friends, and I've had jobs, and I've had opportunities, and I've done a few things. I was on TV. I was on a YouTube channel. I was I've done a few little things. And here is my mother, the people who you know can help you, holding me back on opportunities. But I'm dreaming about it as if I'm supposed to come to them, as if I'm supposed to come to you. So I did go to certain individuals that I had dreams of, and nothing. They can't say anything. They won't say anything. Why won't you say one thing? That's my thing. And again, I'm dreaming about it, and I'm dreaming about certain individuals. Now, I used to work with a few other people, and I'm dreaming about the people that I used to work with. It's shaky. In the dream, it's shaky. Yeah, it's shaky because we left on shaky business. I can help many people. I went to business school. I can help and be a, what is that thing called? See, I can't even think right now. A business consultant, a visual manager. I can do a lot. But then I can do everything all by myself in today's time. I don't need anybody. That's the surprising part. And you know what I thought in my head? Just because I can do everything on